As per the submissions of one Jeremiah Kioni, Ruto has put together a compensation commission for one reason only: to help cover up the illegal disposal of 295 bodies in Longonot. Not my words, here's what Jeremiah Kioni had to say on the same. Roll the tape.
County government in Nairobi, they want to dispose of 295 bodies, unclaimed, unknown, something that has never happened since 1963. And we think that what Ruto is doing is this commission that he is forming, that he is talking about, compensation commission. It is meant to cover up the fact that we have very many bodies in our mortuaries that have not been claimed. And we also have very many parents who still cannot account for their lost kids. This is after the extrajudicial killings, after the abductions, all those things. So we in the oppositions must remain focused. Kwa sababu Ruto atatucheza tukianza marubano ya kuulizana nani atakuwa mkubwa kuliko ule.
Now that's an interesting take from Kioni, but in regards to how true that statement is, I can't really ascertain. But I believe he's onto something, because this compensation commission has been put there to help with damage control, especially when extrajudicial murders take place. For example, if this task force were in place when Albert Ojwang was murdered, you would never have heard that story. Why so? Because they'd have rushed in to see the dad, given him 2 million shillings and asked him to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And in some cases, you don't even need an NDA. Money-hungry family members, on their own volition, will just quiet down because of the cash they've received. So this compensation task force, it's a scam. You can't compensate the dead. The only way to respect the dead is to respect the living by giving them the opportunity to experience a natural death. So I wouldn't buy into that if I were you. Now back to Kioni's story. This would not be the first time the governments have been found hiding bodies. In the Guatemala wars of 1960 to 1996, state forces carried out massacres against the Maya communities, and they put the bodies in hidden mass graves. It literally took the intervention of the United Nations-sponsored Commission for Historical Clarification for us to ultimately have documented systemic patterns of disappearance and concealment. Again, in the 1940s, the Soviet Union oversaw the execution of Polish officers, and the Soviet state denied responsibility for decades as they continued to barricade and hide those very same mass graves. So in line with that, we cannot take lightly what Jeremiah Kioni is telling us. Which mass grave is this at Longonot? Who are the people being dumped there, if at all? What is their nationality? What is their gender? What is their tribe? And what is their age group? These are all questions that we want answered. On top of that, we also want to know kama Jeremiah Kioni ni mtu wako jaba, so that we as Kenyans can find out how to deal with him through a court of law, or if he's right on the money. This, from where I sit, is worthy of an investigation. But that's just my opinion. Let's see what Kenyans the next have to say about this. And I quote, Pingachi Moses said, "The Bible says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. The same Bible teaches how to fearlessly get rid of the devil." For those who know what he's saying, I'm glad you're in the know. Overcoming evil with good said, why are they dumping bodies in a forest? Kasongo avoiding compensation? Humans aren't cockroaches. The blood and spirits of the dead will haunt them. This is another good point. Maybe they don't want to rack up billions and billions in debt in terms of compensation, so that's why bodies are being hidden. Ndio hiyo pesa ya compensation ikue within their budget. Thomas Wandai said, yani people are still being killed and dumped in Longonot, yet somebody is talking of compensation commission. Chilson Jogu said, sasa wakitupa huko kwa caldera, utawai patikana. These guys are creatively evil. I would agree. 275, hiyo imeshinda rekodi ya Shakahola. Mackenzie would be a rookie if we compare his numbers to hizi tunasikia from Longonot. And to make it worse, the people who could have been investigating this thing or rushing to court to get court orders which can help us unravel more are already in this thing. The vice chair is the president of the Law Society of Kenya, one Faith Odhiambo. It is immoral to have a handshake between the opposition and the government. But it is even more immoral for the Law Society of Kenya and the government to be in bed. And watu huwa tunategemea when certain things hit the fan, I don't want to mention, they can rush to court and save our heinies. Now they are the ones flogging us with a corrupt government. Wonders will truly never cease, guys. Wonders will truly never cease. Anywho, here's today's ad of the day. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602 and he'll get your house dapped up. Now, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button. You're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.